But the other day when the Olympics were on, I got tired listening, watching it. So I turned on a different channel, and they had this sex channel on where they were showing all the diseases that the teenagers were getting from oral sex, and from anal sex, and from rainbow sex. And I said, what? And so I watched it, kept on watching it, and they're not having phallic and vaginal penetration like they were for a while, or maybe some of them are. They're having oral sex with a penis and vagina, and they're having anal sex with the anus at the rectum, and then they're having rainbow sex, which is one boy, one young man, and then a whole line of girls with a different color of lipstick, and they all go over and they make a rainbow having oral sex with him. Now, when that boy was standing up there asking that girl in the swing exactly what vaginal penetration or what sex was, and she was trying to tell him, he said, do you, in your studies, do you classify anal and oral and this rainbow thing as sex?
Great question.
Getting quite an education.
I thought I was going to be the most graphic one here today. So I guess, I mean, one thing I would say is just the caveat is that I think some of the things that get picked up in the media are very extreme cases that are relatively rare, and that sort of chain oral sex really probably extraordinarily rare in practice, although the media would, have you think that this is something everybody's doing every 15 minutes. So in my study, because I was interested in the idea of whatever people themselves understand as virginity loss, I let them define it for me. So I actually asked people, define virginity loss, what is it? Most of actually all of the heterosexual people that I interviewed said, oh, it's vaginal penile intercourse. Many of the gay and lesbian people that I interviewed said, well, it can be that, or it can be, if you have sex with women, it could be oral sex between women, or it could be oral sex between men, or anal sex between men. So people tend to just sort of differentiate based on sexual identity. But for the most part, I let people sort of set the definition themselves. I'm certainly, all of these practices have been around for a long time. And I think some of the cultural emphasis, renewed emphasis on maintaining virginity has probably led to more other kinds of sex, which, as you said, we might not call it virginity loss sex, but it's sex. In kind of it's not the intended outcome of abstinence-only sex education in any rate. But I actually let people sort of define it for themselves. And for most of the people I interviewed, it was vaginal sex, but for some it was various kinds of same-sex practices.